All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is December 12th, 2025. My name is Coach Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my paying subscribers. Appreciate your subscriptions. Don't take that for granted. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyberland. Thank you for subscribing, following the content, liking the content, and sharing the content. Okay, how I made 4K today with a 66K account, utilizing only 10% of my account, 6,600. Let's take a peek. All right, so I'm a SPY trader, so I mainly traded SPY. So it was right here. It was this 10-minute downtrend right there. You can see where I bought puts and sold puts. Okay, right there. That was it. Mainly puts. These calls traded the pullback up to VWAP. You can see right there's the pullback all the way back up to VWAP. Again, the puts bought, sold into strength. Again, more puts sold into strength. I'm going to take that off. Some calls. Again, we bought the low right off the anchored VWAP. That's the purple line right there. Back to VWAP. So off the anchored VWAP, back to regular VWAP, and then back to VWAP again. Okay, so there's anchored VWAP, that is. 683 calls. Again, picked off the lows, sold them into the highs as price came back to VWAP. And on these puts, you can see I bought those puts. Again, same ones I bought right at the beginning of the day. Okay, so price, big igniting candle down. We broke the bottom of the base. That was a short for me for price action all the way back to this uptrend line. I said if we got below, started closing candles, look for gap fill, which is the dash line right through here. And then on down further, down to 680.20. So that's how I made the 4K today. All right, let's take a look at the markets, see how we close today. All right, on the 10-minute chart, I'm not going to say it's an uptrend or a downtrend. I'm just going to say it's bearish consolidation, being that we went down and over to the right. On the 2-hour chart, still in a downtrend. Got price action candles under the 3 under the 8, 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. Kind of the same thing we had on Friday. All right, so let's take a look at daily chart. On the daily chart, we'll pick it up right here. Yeah, right there. It's good. Okay, so on the daily chart, we put in, let me see what the low is here yesterday. Low here yesterday is 679.17, 679.25. Okay, so inside day, lower high, higher low, not by much. Closing under the bearish cross and over the 17 EMA and over the all-time high anchored VWAP, which is right up here. Okay, so over the all-time high anchored VWAP and under the 3/8 trap. And over the 17 EMA. So if we back this out, okay, and we pick up, well, let's move this off to the side just a little bit, okay. Okay, so you can see we're all the way up here at the top of quadrant 4. So that's bullish, and we're still in an uptrend right there on SPY. Take a look at QQQ. Lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, not in a downtrend, still in an uptrend, but having a harsh pullback. Price action, top of middle of quadrant 4, that's bullish, still in an uptrend. Not moving up though. FNGU. We really needed the bulls to come in and rescue price action on FNGU today. They failed miserably. lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17 EMA, under the major support here, okay, and almost down there where we had a pullback low earlier. So not looking good. We're in the we're no longer in the upper third, so we're neutral here on FNGU, and FNGU is in a downtrend. They made a lower low, so you can see price action right here. Okay, so there's a low. They made a lower low, so they're in a downtrend, no longer in the upper third, so they're neutral and in a downtrend right there. Okay, so FNGU not looking good at all. Yeah, H pattern rollover for sure. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow puts in a lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap, over the 17, over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM, lower high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at silver. Silver an inside day, closing over the trap, over the 17, up at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Gold, putting in an inside day. That's a higher low and a lower high, closing over a bullish trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. UNG, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17. And darn near the bottom of quadrant 1, that's bearish and in a downtrend. USO, wow, energy really getting hammered 2025. Hey, let's not rally it into the end of the year, guys. Come on, jeez. All right, got an outside day, higher high, a lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, under the downtrend line. Looking like a pinch out right here to the downside. So here's USO on the daily chart. Still in a downtrend and in the lower third now. So it's bearish and in a downtrend for USO. Take a look at technicals. T2101. Market, let's face it, went down today. I'm going to say participation went lateral over to the right, like not up, not down. I'm just going to say it's kind of equal to what it was on Friday, which was pretty much equal to what it was on Thursday. All right, let's take a look at T2122. Okay, we're no longer hanging out in the overbought buy zone. We're down here in the midpoint and jumped around right here at the 50-yard line. We managed to make our way back up out of the seller's chop zone into the buyer's chop zone. Maybe to make a lower high, I don't know. Maybe to head back up to the buy zone, I don't know. We'll see, but not looking good for the bulls. Looking at FNGU and T2122 here. T2123. Holding the higher ground. That does look good. Okay, so still in an uptrend, consolidating up here over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. Okay, I wanted it to consolidate. All right, and I'd like to see it move up now. Next, like to see it move up on T2123, 15-minute chart, still in an uptrend, in the neutral zone. Okay, as pulled back from the all-time high. 3-bar chart. You can see we got a high. We're holding those highs up there. So we still in an uptrend on the 3-bar chart. We're above the flat 200 SMA. That's bullish. You can see here's the April low. We're up here in the middle of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend right now. Okay, they just got an uptrend a couple days ago, couple trading days ago. So bullish and in an uptrend up there, T21.23. Here's the stinker, FNGU. A move down and over to the right. Bear flag. Ugly, ugly, ugly stinker. Not very good. Not very nice. So this is in a downtrend on the 15-minute chart. We're under the 200 SMA. So that's bearish. Okay. Not my favorite place to be. We're challenging the breakout low candle down here. Darn close to challenging it right down there. But we hung out in a bear flag all day right here. So we're underneath major support. We needed to be on top of that. I was expecting bulls to rescue price today. Didn't seem to happen. Maybe there's some hope with the employment situation tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We're under the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. We're under the breakup candle low. That's the purple line. That's that anchored VWAP off the purple line. So that's it. Okay, employment situation will be volatile, period, tomorrow morning at 8:30. Okay, so have your wits about you. There will be some opportunities. So see if we can capture some tomorrow morning, 8:30. All right. I expect to see some good numbers. Retail sales were good. So I expect a lot of seasonal hiring to have occurred in order to capture those retail sales. So we'll see. All right, we're going to get a delayed report on the retail sales here. All right, that's it for me for today. We can go back and look at Qs one more time and see what they closed with. On the 10-minute chart, I'm just going to call it, well, that's a 10-minute downtrend on the QQQ. Not pretty, not helpful. I'm just going to call this bearish consolidation. I'm not even going to give them a downtrend on that. That's more to the right than the Qs. Qs are pointed over. QQQ on the 2-hour, I'll bet that's a downtrend. And you can see the candlesticks underneath the 3 EMA, 3 EMA underneath the 8 EMA, both pointed down. 2-hour downtrend on the QQQ. Again, on the daily chart, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap. I want to find out where the midpoint is. And quad lines, here we go. So you can see we're no longer in the upper third right there. So we're just neutral right here based on this rally right there. So just neutral. And still in an uptrend, still in the uptrend, with a harsh pullback right there. All right, so there's where we are. All right, tomorrow 8:30. All right, I'll see everybody at 8 o'clock. Texts, yes, I do. Yes, I do want help with that. All right, traders, that's it for me. Everybody have a beautiful evening.